All right, welcome back to another edition of That's CC Hockey. Sammi Silber here, very special guest. We got Hershey Bears captain Aaron Ness with us. Aaron, how you doing today?
Good, really good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, no, thank you for doing our little show. And we're both at rinks, so it's a cool environment today. Wanted to talk to you about your start, growing up in Minnesota, work your way up, and eventually play for Minnesota. Just how was it to get to kind of do everything in your hometown there?
Yeah, for sure. My hometown's a pretty special place. It's hockey, 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 and they give you every opportunity to succeed, whether it's ice time and coaching, and it's a pretty special place as far as hockey goes. And then, obviously, to be able to play for the University of Minnesota with the Gophers was a dream of mine since I was a kid. You watch them, every weekend growing up. So yeah, to be able to wear that jersey was very, very special.
Did you have a major when you were in college? Were you majoring
I
in?
did, yeah. It's called BME, it was Business and Marketing Education, it was called. So I actually graduated. I signed after 3 years, but they do a great job of taking care of guys if they leave early, or school's obviously an important part too. So they reached out and I was able to slowly take classes and finish my degree there.
What was going to be your backup if you didn't make it pro? I mean, obviously pro is the ideal path, but
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I think you're so focused on one goal and you kind of throw everything into it. So Uh, sometimes I feel like if you want to have success in something, if there's not another option, you make sure it happens, right? So at that point, going to school and stuff, I just fell into that degree, and hopefully maybe one day be using it. But at the time, it was do everything I can to try play professionally.
and then so you come into the league, you're drafted by the Islanders. What was that like to be drafted and hear your name called and start with an organization like that?
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. That's what the ultimate goal is to play in the NHL. And I was lucky enough to be drafted by such an amazing organization. And they gave me a chance, and the stuff they did for me over the 4 years I was playing there, and whether it's Bridgeport or with the Islanders, was some things I still use and learn today. So a lot of good coaches, a lot of good management, a lot of good people, and I was very lucky to be a part of that organization.
And then so down the road, time goes by, you come to Washington. What draws you to the Capitals? How does that come to be?
Yeah, I think free agency is kind of crazy. July 1st came, and you're talking to a few other teams, and Washington was one of them at the time, and I don't know, it just seemed like a good fit. Obviously, at that time it was you want to do everything you can to play in the NHL and try and make the team, and they said you're probably going to start in Hershey, but hopefully you play well, play good hockey, and maybe get a chance at the NHL, and it ended up working out. I got to play some games for Washington, but obviously, if you're going to play in the American Hockey League, if you play with Hershey Bears, it's a no-brainer. So yeah, I just talked to my agent, my family, and my wife, and we made that decision as a family, and it was the best decision we've made up to this point.
What makes Hershey so special? What makes Chocolate Town such a special place to play?
Yeah, I think it's just the community. I think it's always been so welcoming, and the people are great and they love hockey. And I think when there's an expectation to win and succeed, it brings the best out in people and players. And it just has a great vibe to the town. My wife loves it here, my kids love it here, and ultimately they care about winning and they want to hang banners and win championships. So that was obviously an easy draw. I think as a player, you always want to do that. That's the first thing you want to do when you're playing hockey is win a championship. So it was, I've been very lucky, very blessed to play here, and obviously again next year too. So it's been an exciting career here, and it's been a lot of fun.
And looking back at Washington, just what are some of your favorite memories from your time with the team? Well, your first stint with the organization.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys are still there that were there when I played a couple games there. So I mean, obviously, you play with a guy like Ovechkin, it's a no-brainer, right? Some of the things he's doing is incredible, and it's been so fun to watch from afar here, and just they had such an incredible group of guys and a great core, and I think you see that that's why they've had so much success. Is when a guy like me came in there, they opened me, welcomed me with open arms, and they just make period easier because it can be tough. You go to a new team, they expect to win and expect results out of you right away. So yeah, just the group of guys was always amazing, and obviously the staff and top down is one of one.
When you were there in 2017, 18 and with Hershey at the time, was that a group that you kind of felt was something special that could make a run and eventually win the cup that year?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's kind of the funny thing. Everyone's always excited at the start of the year. I think you start a season, everyone starts fresh. Everyone has that ultimate goal, and I think as you go along the way, a lot of teams, turn into championship teams, and you see little things that build a tight group, and ultimately, a group that's able to win some games in the playoffs, and a lot of things have to go right to win a championship. But I think you can kind of see it and feel it coming along the way, and it's obviously a special group, and I think we just had a lot of fun. It was a tight knit group, and I think you could see the results from that.
And then nobody ever wants to talk about an injury. But in 2019, you had a pretty scary one where you kind of lose an edge. You go into the net and you kind of lose consciousness there and you have to go to the hospital. Just in a moment like that, is that something that's just so hard to go through as a player?
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously when you play hockey, no one wants to get hurt or injured or have anything happen. But yeah, that was a scary one. I think a lot of times too, you got to understand that there are some things like that that hopefully won't happen again and very rarely do happen. So I think that was kind of how, I talked to my wife about it, my family, and, if there's any damage playing further on and there wasn't. So you just kind of put it aside and understand that hopefully stuff like that doesn't happen a lot, play through it, and you work your way out of it. So mentally right away is very scary, obviously, but again, the staff here did an amazing job. They were in touch with my wife immediately and my family, and they made a scary situation like that feel a little bit more under control. And I think yeah, that was a big part too. I think that just shows how this organization is so successful, how they handle something like that. So it was a scary moment. Glad it's over, and hopefully never happens again to any player.
What was it like kind of the recovery process, if you don't mind me asking, like coming back and not like you said, I mean, it's so rare that happens, but playing without the fear, of something happening again and knowing there's not going to be damage and just getting ready to go back into game action after something like that happens.
Yeah, for sure. I think the mental side of it, it was just putting it aside and not thinking about it. To be honest with you, like it was what it was, and I think the biggest thing for me was okay. Now, how do we move on? How do I get back as soon as possible? Because it's in the playoffs, right? So it was you want to play, you want to be with your team, you want to be with your teammates, and everyone was so supportive and helped me with recovery and stuff along the way. And it was a pretty quick bounce back. I think if you look back at it, I got pretty lucky. So it could have been a lot worse, and people are going through a lot harder things than that. So for me, it was just understanding that and just trying to get back as soon as I could and be with my teammates and continue to play hockey, the game that we all love.
And then after Washington, you go to Arizona for a couple of years. What was the hockey scene like? I mean, it doesn't exist anymore per se, but what was the hockey scene like over there in Arizona?
Yeah, I thought it was great. We had a great time there. I think it's a lot easier when you leave the rink in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. So it was a different feel for sure. You don't get to play out west very often, and obviously they treated me great there. I had a couple great years, had a lot of fun, met a lot of great people. So yeah, we love the city, and whether it was Tucson or Scottsdale, it was they're two great cities, and we had a blast there.
And then probably I I would think this is one of the cooler moments of your career. What's it like to get the call that you're heading to Beijing to go play in the Olympic Games for Team USA?
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. I talked to my agent a little bit prior, and he said you might be happening. So to get that call, to have that conversation, It was literally unbelievable. It was anytime I know it's said a lot, but anytime you get to represent your country in the Olympic Games is it's going to be up there on any list. So it was so cool. We had so much fun and just another great group of guys and great group of people and they ran it well and obviously a little bit of a disappointing finish. I think we were a pretty good team and we were rolling along, but yeah, it was a blast and just to see other athletes, meet other athletes in other sports and kind of pick their brains a little bit, hang out, just it was a special moment.
Was it strange with COVID happening at the same time? Were there a lot of restrictions while you were over there in Beijing?
Yeah, it was a little different, but you know what? They did a great job. It felt as normal as I think it could have under the circumstances, and it was a weird time for everybody. I think at that time, it's hard for anyone to decide what's right, wrong, or otherwise. So I think they did an incredible job keeping everybody safe in the moment, and you know, it's uh, it's a tough thing, especially when you're under the microscope. I think for everyone at that time. So it was a great experience. Again, one of the coolest things I've done and have been able to do playing hockey.
And do you have like a moment that stands out to you from Beijing where you were kind of like, holy crap, I'm at the Olympics? Was there one moment that kind of just stood out to you?
Yeah, I think right away, right out of the gate, the opening ceremonies and just put on and how they did it and just how big it really is. I think you watch it on TV growing up and you think you understand, and then the opening ceremonies there, and we were all there as a team, and you got to walk out with Team USA together as a group and a unit. It was unbelievable. It was really special.
And then eventually all roads kind of lead back to Hershey. What brought you back to Hershey after, so many different roads and journeys for you? Just what brought you back to the Bears?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it was an easy decision at the time. I feel like a lot of things had been able to do in my career, and at that moment we hadn't won a championship yet, and I came back here to win one. And it was pretty clear over the summer what they were starting to build and what they had built prior, and obviously the coaching and the people and involved and management and just everyone they were putting together pieces to do it and make a run. And to me, it was a no-brainer. We've always loved it here, and it's always felt like home. So, yeah, we were lucky enough to get the call, and ultimately signed it right away. I wanted to come back, and things obviously went well, and that ended up happening. So, yeah, that's it makes it a lot easier when you know what you're getting yourself into and what they're wanting to achieve ultimately.
And you achieved not one, but two back to back. I mean, how crazy is it to go back to back?
Yeah, I think we were talking about this, before the season started. You look back at that first team and you're just like, we did it. We did it. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. And then you double down like that and had the season that we did last year. We set a lot of records and ultimately we're one of the best teams, maybe to play. So just to be a part of that group and now you build like the friendships those players and those people for the rest of your lives. We're already, talking to each other. We still got group chats going. We still got, you just keep in touch when teams like that go through something like that and you're ultimately able to win. And it's so much fun watching guys now in Washington able to succeed and having great seasons, and they deserve to do so after the hard work they've put in, and great players and great guys.
Is it fun to watch the run that Ethan Frank is on right now, the latest call up?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun to watch. He's just such a great guy and a special player, and he works so hard on and off the ice. So to see a guy like that have success, and I think he's gonna have a lot of fun playing this game for a really long time. So we're all cheering him on and watching him every night, and yeah, he's doing great.
And then for you, wearing the C and captaining this team, I mean, what does that mean for you? I mean, you've been with Hershey for such a long time, and there was some time where you weren't here, but you come back and just to get that, what does that mean to you to have the C on your chest?
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, it's you look at all the leaders and the captains, that have led this organization, this team before, and to even be remotely on that list and be a part of that group, it's incredible. It was really special when they announced it, and then to be able to like go through it with these guys every day and try to lead to the best of my ability, and but also do it as a team. And that's one thing that's been great here is there's always so many leaders and so many great people that it makes it an easy job for me, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Is the teddy bear toss the best part of the season for you?
Yeah, it was really special this time. They always do a great job, and it's amazing to be a part of like such a cool thing and able to donate those bears ultimately and give them to people who really need them, and just to be on the ice and just to see all those bears flying around. It's really really cool. And then this year my son got to come on the ice and he was walking around and kind of living it through his eyes too. Was really special. It's such a great thing they do and great thing they put on, and obviously great to be a part of it.
Now, I ask a lot of bears who have come up to the Caps this question. Do you go to Hershey Park often? Like, is that like a perk of like being in Hershey, or is that not really a thing?
No, some guys do definitely. Yeah, we've been a few times. It's a lot of fun. The park's great. They do a great job. Around the holidays they have stuff going on all the time, and yeah, they do a great job. It's maybe in the summer we'll have to get the kids over there and do some roller coasters and stuff. But it's a really great park, and I urge people to come and get on the rides and have some fun whenever they can.
Do you have a favorite ride there?
No, I believe it or not, I'm not a huge ride guy anymore. It's when I was a kid, I loved it, but now stay away. Motion sickness probably right away. So it's going to be interesting when the kids get older and I have to start doing them. But I'll have to throw my wife in there, have her do it.
And then last one for you. What was your favorite locker room welcome to the NHL moment, if you had one?
Oh. I mean, obviously, your first game special, my family was able to be there. That was incredible. Your first goal, you never forget that. I mean, in Washington, I got to sit next to Ovi and at the rink there, and right next to him in his stall, and just to watch him and see what he's about. That was eye opening. I mean, I've had a lot. I think for me, the older I've gotten, you kind of capture these moments and see how cool it really is, and lucky enough to be able to do what we do. But I think ultimately just the relationships you build and the people you get to see and hang out with every day. That's as I get older here, I'm starting to see that's what makes it all worthwhile. So for me, it's just been the great people we work with, and I've been very lucky to be on a lot of really good hockey teams with a lot of really good people, and hopefully that continues here until the last game.
Yeah, the craziest thing about being around Ovi in person, I gotta say, is just how big he is. I think,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if I mean, you're a hockey player. I'm not, but that's just the biggest thing that stands out to me. And then yeah, I told you that was my last one, but I gotta ask too about Hunter Shepard's hair. I mean, does he have the best hair in the AHL?
the best here in the HL.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't know. I've heard both sides. I mean, it's great. He'd probably kill me if I said this, but it's a little natty for me, a little long for me. I'd like to see him trim it down, maybe shave his head. I don't know. I don't know what the fans are saying. You'll have to ask them, get back on maybe a poll or something. But yeah, it's something. Yeah, it's something. I'm not a fan, but whatever he likes, as long as he keeps playing good hockey and being the person and the goaltender he is, he can wear his hair however he wants.
I like it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Aaron. I really, really appreciate it. It was awesome meeting
Anytime.
you.